Kalamazoo, Michigan, a serene Midwestern town known for its tree-lined neighborhoods, bustling downtown cafes, and tight-knit community. By day, parents dropped their children at school, workers commuted to local businesses, and retirees enjoyed strolls in Bronson Park. But on the evening of February 20th, 2016, this tranquility would be shattered by a horror no one saw coming. A man named Jason Dalton, a 45-year-old husband, father, and part-time Uber driver, began his shift. To those who knew him, Dalton was unremarkable. A quiet man who repaired HVAC systems by day and drove strangers by night. His Uber profile boasted a 4.7 3-star rating, with passengers praising his politeness. But beneath this veneer of normalcy lurked a darkness waiting to erupt. At 5:30 p.m., Dalton logged into the Uber app, his silver Chevrolet Equinox gleaming under the fading winter sun. His first fare arrived promptly, a young woman needing a ride to a restaurant. She later recalled his calm demeanor, his casual chat about the unseasonably warm weather. As he dropped her off, she thanked him, unaware she'd just escaped a killer's car. Minutes later, Dalton's GPS led him to a quiet apartment complex on Prairie Street. There, 25-year-old Tiana Carruthers played outside with her stepchildren, laughing as the sun dipped below the horizon. She noticed the SUV idling nearby, its driver watching her. When he offered a ride, she declined. Then, without warning, he raised a gun. Gunfire echoed through the complex. Tiana collapsed, bullets tearing through her legs and arms as she screamed for her children to run. Neighbors dialed 911, but Dalton sped away, vanishing into the night. Paramedics found Tiana conscious but bleeding heavily, her children unharmed but traumatized. As she was rushed to the hospital, Dalton continued working. Over the next hour, he picked up 2 more passengers, a college student and a couple heading to a movie. Both later described his erratic driving but dismissed it as impatience. One passenger even joked about giving him a 4-star rating. Meanwhile, Dalton's phone buzzed with new ride requests. He accepted them all, weaving a sinister double life. Cheerful driver by app, merciless killer between fares. By 8 p.m., Dalton's rampage escalated. He drove to a Kia dealership on Stadium Drive, where 53-year-old Rich Smith and his 17-year-old son Tyler browsed cars for Tyler's upcoming birthday. Rich, a devoted father and baseball coach, had promised his son a vehicle for his part-time job at a local grocery store. As they examined a sedan, Dalton parked nearby. He approached, firearm concealed, and opened fire. Rich fell first, a single shot to the chest. Tyler lunged to shield his father but was struck in the head. A salesman hiding behind a truck called 911, whispering in terror as Dalton returned to his car, unfazed. Tyler survived but suffered permanent brain damage. Rich died holding his son's hand. Dalton's Uber app continued pinging. At 9:15 p.m., he picked up a group of friends celebrating a birthday. They laughed in the back seat, oblivious to the bloodstains on Dalton's jacket. One passenger later recounted how Dalton chuckled at his phone mid-ride, claiming he was having a great night. He dropped them off at a steakhouse, wished them well, and drove to a secluded parking lot. There, he reloaded his 9mm semi-automatic pistol. By 10 p.m., he arrived at the Cracker Barrel on South 9th Street, where 62-year-old Mary Lou Nye and her 68-year-old sister-in-law, Mary Jo Nye, sat in a parked car. With them was 14-year-old Abigail Kopf, Mary Lou's granddaughter, who texted friends about her weekend plans. Dalton fired 12 rounds into their vehicle. Mary Jo and Mary Lou died instantly. Abigail, struck in the head, slumped over her grandmother's body, her phone still glowing with unfinished messages. Paramedics initially declared her brain dead, but days later, as her mother wept at her bedside, Abigail squeezed her hand, a miraculous sign of life. After months of rehabilitation, she relearned to walk and speak, though her vision and memory were permanently damaged. Meanwhile, Dalton fled the scene. His final Uber fare, a man heading home from a bar, noticed nothing unusual. The passenger later told police Dalton seemed tired but friendly, even recommending a route to avoid traffic. By midnight, Kalamazoo police had 6 bodies and no suspects. Panic spread as news outlets warned of an active shooter. Officers scoured security footage, finding only glimpses of a silver SUV. Then a breakthrough. A survivor from the apartment complex described the shooter's car. Detectives cross-referenced Uber's database and froze. The suspect was one of their own drivers. At 12:30 a.m., officers surrounded Dalton's home in nearby Cooper Township. He sat in his idling car, scrolling through his phone. When ordered to surrender, he complied calmly, offering no resistance. In his vehicle, they found the murder weapon, soaked in the blood of his victims. During interrogation, Dalton claimed a devil figure on Uber's app had commanded him to kill. He described the icon, changing colors and controlling his mind. Psychiatrists later diagnosed him with bipolar disorder, but deemed him fit for trial. Survivors rejected his excuses. Tiana Carruthers, now permanently disabled, told the court, "You chose to pull that trigger, not an app." Abigail Kopf, facing lifelong disabilities, stated simply, "I'm stronger than you." Dalton pleaded guilty to 6 counts of murder, avoiding the death penalty but ensuring he'd never walk free. Kalamazoo mourned for years. Memorials bloomed at each crime scene. Teddy bears for 8-year-old Alexandria Lexi Browning, killed while shopping with her mother at a car dealership. Baseball gloves left for Rich and Tyler Smith. Uber faced lawsuits and public fury, though courts ruled the company wasn't liable for Dalton's actions. Today, a stone bench in Bronson Park bears the victims' names, a quiet place to reflect on the fragility of safety. Dalton, now inmate number 878039, spends 23 hours a day in a Michigan prison cell, his Uber rating forever frozen at 4.73 stars, a haunting reminder of the monster who hid in plain sight.